Welcome to toy-polloi.
Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. In today's video we're going to take a look at how to fix broken Castle Greyskull thrones. A really common problem with Castle Greyskull, which I didn't cover in my main restoration, is the throne chair being broken. Now there are two quite weak points on this chair that do need to be in place for the whole sort of chair and trapdoor mechanism to work. So here we have a broken throne chair, and what you'll see is missing is there should be a small little peg sticking out the bottom there, which is the bit that activates the trapdoor, and also this small peg section here, which is what holds the whole thing together. You can see if you look at this one that half of it has snapped off, and that is an incredibly common area to break. So in this video I'm going to show you how to fix those two sections and get the whole of the trapdoor and throne mechanism back up and running. Here we have a working version of the throne and the floor taken out of Castle Greyskull, and you'll see the chair sits in place, and if I flip it over there's a little clip that's on the bottom part of the throne which clips and holds this mechanism piece in place, and there's also a small little tab on 1 foot of the throne there, and that's what activates this. So if I turn this over you can see that as I rotate the chair around there's a small tab there, and that moves the mechanism, unlocks the trapdoor, and the trapdoor opens. He says, there you go, it does open. So without those two bits, the bit holding the mechanism together and that little peg, this system doesn't work. Looking at the bottom of these two chairs, you can see this one on the right is an unbroken one with the little peg in place and the unbroken clip, and here we have a broken one. So the first thing we're going to do is to recreate this tiny little peg here. If you've watched many of my other Fix-It videos, you'll know that I use Lego quite a lot for fixing toys like this, because Lego produce quite a lot of parts that are almost the right sort of size, and the plastic is very easy to deal with. So normally for something like this I would try and use a Lego lance. These are very, very useful little weapons to get hold of, because if we look at the original peg you can see that the lance is about the right thickness, and the plastic is very easy to cut and sort of shape. But obviously this is grey, and I wanted something that was a closer match in colour to the original throne. Now it appears that Lego don't produce anything sort of this sort of shape in orange, and actually they don't produce many of these sort of pegs and poles in orange. So the closest I could find was a yellow sort of bracket. I'm not really sure what this is called. I couldn't really find even a name for it, but you can buy sort of bulk lots of spares of Lego parts, so I bought a few of these, and I think this will do. The colour isn't great. I think maybe I will paint it actually once I've sort of fixed it on, but it's a closer match than the grey. So let's go ahead and we'll try and make something out of this piece of Lego. The first thing I'm going to do is actually to file away as part of the throne there and make a little notch in, something that this bit of Lego can sit into. And I've got a few quite small little files here. This is a round one, and this should do perfectly, so I should just be able to file away along the exact same line where the peg was, and file a little sort of dent in. Now that I've filed that away, you can see that there's actually quite a groove in there, and because of the shape of my file, the little round one, it's now a perfect match for this bit of Lego. If I just slot this in, you'll see, like so, that it fits in really quite snugly. So the next job to do is to shape this into some sort of peg. Now I think it shouldn't be too hard to do, because as I say, Lego is a very nice plastic to work with. All you've got to do, we'll hold it up against this. I'm going to use this little lip thing as a sort of an extra area of glue to glue inside, sort of like that. So I really just need to hold this up against the one that we've got here, like so. And I now can chop this off. I'll chop it off slightly longer, just so that I've got something to work with, like so. And then I can chop this away from the rest of that. And this will be the basis of our new peg. So really it's just going to be a case of using some plastic cutters like this to carefully shape this bit of Lego until we've got something that sort of fits and works within the shape of the chair. So this may take me a little while just to sort of trim it, but I should get something that works just about perfectly. Okay, so after a little bit of sort of fiddling and cutting, what I've ended up with is a replacement peg. So you can see here I've trimmed down the top section, well, top by top section I'm meaning this sort of rounded bit. You can see I've sort of chopped it off so it's more of a semicircle on one side and flat on the other, and then I've cut the little peg down and rounded the end so that it's nice and smooth there, and this should now fit quite nicely into the little groove that I've made on the bottom of the chair. So by the time that's glued in place, you can see it a little bit from the front. That's a bit of a shame. I might actually chop off that top, the little lip there. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. We'll chop that off and hopefully that will be less visible. So I'm just going to get my plastic cutters and just gently trim those two little lips off. Like so. So now we've got more of a little T shape. Let's put that in. Actually, that looks much better. That's much better. It's less obvious there. So yeah, let's go ahead and glue that in and we'll see if the chair mechanism now works. For gluing this in, I'm just going to use a little bit of super glue. I find this works perfectly well. These are two different types of plastic. This is quite a hard plastic, and the Lego is made out of a sort of a softer, more like vinyl-like plastic. So I'm just going to drop a little drop in there and a little bit along the top edge. And then I should be able to just slot this in like so. Of course it's quite a tight fit already, so just slot that in and we'll let that glue go off. But already you can see that there's quite a nice little peg shape there, which should hopefully... Oh, I've got it at a different angle. That may be a flaw. Okay, I might have to just rethink that slightly. Okay, so yes, that is a slight flaw. I hadn't realised. I thought it actually went along like that, but it should be more vertical. Not a problem really. What I can do is I can just angle this front edge slightly. Again, just using these plastic cutters. As you can see, you can cut quite well with these. So there you go. If I angle that front edge like so, then that should, if I drop that in, there you go. That's now made it vertical. So I'll just glue that in place and we can carry on. As you can see when I'm doing these fixes, I do sort of make stuff up as I go along. If it's something I've fixed before, I've obviously tried quite a few techniques, but on something like this where this is the first time I'm fixing it, things and plans tend to change as I sort of work my way through. But everything can be sort of fixed in the end. So there you go. That's now stuck in place and is a pretty good match for the original, so hopefully that will work. So before we test this out, I think we should go and fix this little thing. And again, I have a good idea for that, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem to fix it. Fixing this little holding bracket is actually going to be easier than you would think. All you're going to need is a 5mm diameter little bolt like this one. I've got quite a few of these in my sort of DIY toolbox outside, and you'll notice that if I slot this in place and just give it a slight turn, it actually fits pretty much perfectly within the original hole there. So using that should be a good way of fixing it. So what I've done is I've measured, let me just take this one out, the right height, and I've cut a bolt down. So this is the same bolt, I've just shortened it down to the right size. Now you'll just have to do this by eye, there's no set way of doing it. And I can slot this one back in my little hole there. So there you go, that's sort of in place. Now let's put this all together with a bolt and a couple of little washers, and this should screw in place, and this peg should do the trapdoor mechanism, and hopefully that will be the throne room back up and running. So here we have the floor and the new chair with the bolt in place there. So we're going to drop the bolt through the larger hole, and the little peg that we stuck in obviously goes in the little grooved hole there. So that should slot quite nicely through. So I turn it over, you can see the bolt has come through. So just going to stick a couple of washers on that to keep it sort of free running. And then I have a nut here that I can screw on and hold everything in place. So here I have everything back together. The throne is held in with a bolt. It is a little bit wobbly, but that is exactly how the original throne used to be. It is quite a wobbly fixing, not held in particularly firmly. But now hopefully if I rotate the throne, the trapdoor will open. like so. So there we have it, the throne is fixed and working again. So from something that was broken and people thought was unsalvageable, we've now got a working throne again. I've now put everything back inside Castle Grayskull and you can see it all looks like it's working. So let's test it. Oh no, He-Man, look what's happening. Skeletor's managed to get inside Castle Grayskull. What on earth are you going to do? Why don't you turn towards him? Oh, look at that. And now he's fallen through the trapdoor. So there you go. You can see that it all does work. Everything, it fits back in place properly. If I slot the trapdoor back up and rotate it back in, there we go. It's all back to working. So as you can see, it's a fairly easy thing to fix. You just need a bit of Lego and a nut and bolt, and you can sort of repair it pretty well. Obviously, you could paint the bits that I've dropped in, paint them orange so that they match the same colour as the throne. I haven't done that just because I don't have any orange paint, but I think it would be easy enough to do. I decided I couldn't leave the throne unpainted, so I popped down the model shop and picked up a new pot of humble paint. I picked up some RC420, which is an orange colour. RC means railway colour, and the colour was not bad. It's a little bit dark, so I've mixed it with a little bit of number 34 humble white paint and toned it down a bit, and the end result is this. This is what the throne looks like. Now you can see that the peg it's a slightly darker orange. I probably should have got a different colour, but they didn't actually have that much choice this time, so it doesn't look too bad, and it makes it sort of harder to notice. And I've also painted the bolt at the back there, as you can see, so that's a little bit less noticeable. Not that you could see it particularly much anyway when it was in place, but it just sort of finishes it off and gives it that sort of looks like it's a little bit more professionally done then. So there you go, that is the finished throne with both parts repaired. I hope that's all been of interest to you, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow toy-polloi on Twitter and Facebook.